Hey everybody, Anthony Vanden Heuvel here along with Robert McCall welcoming you to the 2019 Cedar Hill Chill down in Cedar Hill, Texas. I was the videographer, we'll say, for this. I filmed it. Robert is the 2018 Cedar Hill Chill champion.
Look out.
So someone here
No
is gonna
spoilers.
take your
This
crown.
is the 2019 edition.
Yes.
So
Spoiler though.
just to clarify.
All right, let's get into the action, Robert. Starting things off, we've got Coda Hatfield shooting a 1040 rated first round.
Nice.
Christopher Hall coming in second place, Miles Seaborn in third, and then Emerson Keith and Trevor Harbolt rounding out the card tied for fourth.
Cool. Yeah, we're here on hole one. This is the Beaver course out at Lester Lorch Park in Cedar Hill. Two courses out here, Beaver and Coyote. They played Coyote this morning, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, Beaver in the afternoon. This is, for some of these guys, if they lay down a good roller, this could be a reachable hole. I've seen Miles deuce this before, because he throws far. But this is a pretty rainy, a little bit windy day. Is that right?
Yes, it's not super windy, decent bit of rain, cold, and tons of mud.
Yeah, so rollers aren't going to be super great all the time unless you just put it down perfectly like that.
What if you're Coda, though?
Here's the thing. 3 on this never, ever feels bad. If you get a roller up there, you're good. You can throw an air shot down the middle and be just fine, just like we're seeing Christopher do here. He's turned that over a bit much, and if he just gets past that little group of trees, he'll have kind of a skinny hyzer up to the basket.
And so this is Miles, like you said, and actually talking with Miles, he has in his head, he has a dream course of 18 of his favorite holes on that he's ever played.
I bet this is one.
And this is actually the starting hole for that course, yeah.
Yeah. It's just such a cool hole. Like you have different options. You can play it super safe off the box and take an easy 3 if you want. We can get aggressive with that roller. And yeah, like I said, I've seen Miles deuce this before, so wouldn't be surprised to see one of these guys get it if they get a good roller down. That's a stable roller from Emerson.
Yeah, I believe that's a defender.
Oh, that honestly had a lot of
very
potential.
rude tree.
Yeah, super rude.
So he's still got a good bit. Trevor going with the air shot. Trevor seems to throw a lot of hyzer flips. That seems to be his game, is kind of throw everything on hyzer and let it stand up.
Nice.
Drifted a little bit far to the right, but nobody's got a gimme 2 here.
No. But nobody's really in a bad position to get 3. You know, Christopher is the farthest out here, and that's a really smooth forehand up. Oh, my goodness. That'd have been a nice little 2.
Yeah, not bad.
Not the way you draw it up, but it really doesn't matter how you draw it up as long as what you draw on the scorecard is 2.
As long as your second shot there, yeah.
It's a nice shot.
Trevor a little bit hot, but
there is a fence over there that kind of keeps you from pushing way into that stuff, but it can kind of obstruct your putt if you get too close to it.
Emerson getting razzed by his own umbrella.
Dude, the self-razz. Ill-advised.
Starting off the round, razz yourself.
That's right. That's a justice up from Emerson. And I think this is a pure from Coda. Yeah.
Opto pure for Coda.
Coda has been playing disc golf like at these Texas courses for so long. I mean, you can go back and find footage of it, and I bet he's been there for like 10 or 15 years. Oh, Miles! What? Come on, man.
Bonk.
Dude.
Hey, remember how nobody had a good look at 2?
Yeah, there's a couple pretty good looks at 2.
Okay, never mind.
I like that he rolled back to still be like farthest out from hitting the basket. Anyway, there's footage of Coda playing these courses, back as far as like 2010 or whatever, and he's probably been playing them 10 or 15 years before that. Just well known in the area, won a lot of tournaments down here. Same thing with Miles. He's very, very well known in the area. One of the most underrated players, I think. That you'll run into. Super, super talented, super humble guy.
So 3s across the board. Starting things off here with a star frame. Coda's still in the lead with 1 over Chris, and then he's got a couple on Miles. Moving into hole 2 here, par 3, 330 feet. How did you play this hole, Robert?
I've only played this pin placement once. And it was last year's tournament. It used to be in that short pin placement, and that was just a mid down the middle. So the biggest of arms can go out and around the trees on the right side if they've got a good wind for it. Looks like that's what Coda's going to do. But I was just playing a fairway driver down the middle, trying to hit the hill just behind that short pin and then get a little skip up there. This, effectively, you're having to throw this shot about 460 or so feet of power to get to the basket. You can get out and around the trees just throwing a nice power hyzer, but to get yourself a good look at birdie, you really need to crunch it.
Oh, Now, if it doesn't hit the
Oh.
ground, it's still live, right?
Yeah. That's hopefully some
Still
wind
going.
can blow that down. So Miles is just mashing on. That looks like a Pioneer, if I
Yep.
had to guess.
Yep. And that's pretty good.
One of the things that Miles does really well is that fairway driver, just like really hitting it hard and trusting the angle. He's done that with Felons for years, and so not surprising to see that Pioneer do well for him. That's a great play from Emerson right there.
And that was one of Emerson's OptoX Explorers, too.
Nice.
Spoiler alert, you're going to see that disc a lot.
Many
today.
times.
Yes.
Trevor's on a good line there, about to beat the trees, and just catches that mean branch.
Left-handed. So I was like, I don't care
Oh,
about
Coda has
Dude,
no interest in taking a long time to get
slaps
this
it
down the tree.
He's like, dude, I have appointments, okay? I have
Got
obligations
stuff
to
to
get
do,
to.
guys. Let's go.
It's not a bad up there.
Not at all.
I haven't seen Christopher play much, but when I saw his score from the first round, I mean, that's not a joke on the Coyote course. That's good stuff.
Yeah, he's 960 or 965 rated.
Cool.
And shot, I believe, a 1030 the first round.
awesome.
So super, super solid.
See one of those step putts there from Trevor, but mostly just to lay up. Coda with a nice little floaty bid. He's always putted with overstable putters and
Yeah.
kind of started him on like a little Anheuser. Oh, that's
Just
hateful.
dropped out of the air for
Yeah.
Miles there. That would have been a great two.
So Emerson's going to take the solo deuce here. Mm-hmm. Everybody else has pretty easy threes. Yeah, it's always cool to watch Coda putt with those overstable putters because, well, that was a maiden that he just strapped in with. So
He's been loving those things.
yeah, but he'll just let it go, and then like a few feet out of his hand, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, dude, that's got it." There's like 50 feet to the basket. How did you know? And then it makes it. It's kind of crazy. So that's cool. So yeah, Emerson picking up one on the card right there, moving up into a tie with Miles Seaborn. Moving over to hole 3. I really like this hole because it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of deceiving. 330 feet uphill. Most players can get there with a mid, but if there's any wind coming off your right shoulder, this hole becomes really difficult because to the left of the basket, there's runaway green. Behind the basket, it runs away to the road. So there is some danger. This is not just a straightforward par 3.
I feel like this is one where you step up to it thinking, okay, I've got to birdie this.
Yeah.
But you're not going to birdie it every time.
Yep. Emerson's got a little too much turn on that Explorer, but just getting up to the top shelf is fine. Then, I mean, that's going to be a gimme 3. If he wants to get crazy putting, yeah, I guess he can, but I wouldn't do it if I was him from there.
Coda also going with the OptoX Explorer here.
Nice. And that's a smooth line from Coda.
Just nice and straight up the middle.
And you don't want to land within like 20 feet of the basket on the fly like that because so many of those skip down to the road. So that's some local knowledge, playing a little bit short of that basket and giving yourself a putt.
Chris went with something a little bit higher speed and got a little bit more fade out at the end than I think he was hoping for.
Yeah, that trickled away a little bit as well. Here's Miles with that Pioneer again, just forcing it over a bit and making it come back.
Just trusting the stability, and that's pretty good.
Yeah. If you're going to land that close, you really want it to land on that soft hyzer angle instead of like a skip angle for sure. And this is looking good from Trevor, coming in a bit short, but well within his putting range.
Trevor seemed to take more of like a high kind of floaty shot where like Miles took a lower power line, but
That's almost always what Miles is going to
Yes.
go for. It's like that low driving, like
can I
throw
throw
this
something
hard.
really hard?
Yeah.
So like you said, Emerson kind of maybe gave that like a 30% go. Not
Yeah.
quite a half go, but just get it safe.
It's Coda from, what was that, 30, 35?
Yeah, probably right around circle's edge.
Left side there.
It's an unfortunate miss for him, but it's his first putt of the round.
Yeah.
Everything else has just been tap-ins for him. So
That's a good deuce from Trevor. Christopher dropping in. Coda's going to drop in his 3, and then Miles with the easy 2.
super drop in too.
You're going to like those on these baskets as well. I've seen seen some pretty nasty spits on these before. So
Yeah.
good birdies for Miles and Trevor there. Moving over to hole 4. This pin is like
Nasty.
It's kind of a sucker pin, really. So throwing straight down the hill. There's a placement to the left here that is just a nice, easy little putter shot. That's what everybody's used to. Then there's one down to the right that was a little bit harder. And now we got this new pin.
This one is all of the way down.
Yeah, and it's like crest that hill and hope that you maybe just tap the top of it.
Yes.
And you can settle softly. If you fly it, see you later.
Or if you just catch just enough edge, you're 40 past.
Yes.
Coming
Or
uphill.
Even if you come up just a little bit short, playing up from there is not an easy shot on that downslope.
No.
Miles has put a nice little turn on this, crested that hill.
That's
You got to be
perfect.
kidding me, dude.
Perfect.
Has this guy played here before?
Probably once or twice.
I mean, that's still like, it looks like he played it to perfection, and he's what, still 40 short?
At the
that's
top
a scary
of
putt.
basically a cliff.
Yeah. A little too much turn there for Trevor, so he's going to have a tricky upshot.
Emerson going Explorer again.
That's a clean line. A little bit left.
Good kick,
That's
though.
a nice tree.
Super good kick. Just basically what you're trying to do is get to the mouth of the hill.
Yeah.
So you can basically drop your putter out of your hand
Yeah.
and then make a putt.
Okay, it got there.
Yeah.
All right, sweet.
Perfect. Coda, I believe that's a Ballista Pro. I think he's just looking to get maximum control and turn out of it there.
Yeah. So just a little bit early left for him, but once again, just pitching down the hill, not bad. What's Christopher going with here? Could you tell?
I think that's a Bryce.
I thought that's what it was too. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's one of the 2K discs for sure.
Kicks the tree. He did make the Mando, so no worries there. It was close, but
Yeah.
he did clear it.
Trevor taking the thumber, and I really like that play to control the distance, have it come straight down, and really just like play to crash that canopy above the basket.
Yeah. Not the most ideal spot to be after two, but all things considered with his drive, that's not bad
It's
at
not
all.
bad. A little too much wobble and turn for Christopher there. He's going to be left with this kind of tricky approach for his look at a 4.
And that's probably honestly not a terrible tree
No.
hit because it was kind of floating and high.
Yeah, I could have done some stuff.
I could have gone way down.
Yeah, Coda
I
just
was very happy with that. To
playing
just
that right side. That's smart.
settle.
Same with Emerson. It's just so easy for those to catch edge if you don't land them flat.
Yeah.
And even Miles, the closest drive, is
Look at
just
that.
saying,
He's
hey, look,
staring straight at the basket and
Yeah.
no, I'm not
lay
running
this
this.
up, dude. No thanks. Hey, there's
Chris
a good confident
does
putt for
not
Chris.
care.
Get his 4 after a couple of struggles early on this hole. Nicely done, my friend. Well, that was
Trevor just pitching out there.
yeah. Doing a little bushwhacking out of those trees. That's going to be a 4 for Trevor, and then 3s for Coda, Emerson, and Miles here. I haven't ever played this pin. I've only just seen it, and yeah, no thanks.
It
on
is
that.
brutal. Yeah. It's tough.
I want the short pin back. It's like, oh, finally, give me 2. Okay, great.
So Coda with the 2-stroke lead there over Chris and Miles. Emerson getting the birdie is still 1 behind Miles and Chris, and then Trevor rounding out the card. Hole 5 and 6 are the muddiest parts of this course.
Yep.
So there's a straight shot, 275 feet, par 3. This is one that you're probably wanting to get if you're on this card.
Yeah.
You're walking up to this thinking, okay, just throw almost anything straight to slightly overstable. But with the mud, it is playing a lot more difficult than that. There's no run-ups. If you come up short, you have to throw standstills. And if you throw low, there's
Yeah, not a lot of skip
no
on that.
real chance of it getting there.
That's not a bad shot, but one thing that you can't really tell from the video if you haven't played here before is that the ceiling above them is a little bit more prohibitive than it looks. It looks like you can just air something out and not worry about it, and I've seen plenty of people tag that thing.
Those little finger branches,
Yeah.
almost just looking to knock stuff down.
Is that Emerson right there?
Emerson with the
that was a gatekeeper. is what it
gatekeeper.
looked
Yep.
like, yeah.
Just touch of hyzer and slowly stands up. He's probably like 5 feet.
Yeah. You can tell the benefit of taking a slow run up and just smoothing a shot like that. Same with Coda. I mean, those 2 shots are just picture perfect.
Double parked.
Yeah, when it is muddy like that, pro tip from these guys, slow that footwork down. You don't have to really slow your upper body down a whole lot, but don't think fast. Think slow and think follow through, and you're going to have better results with that. That's
Trevor
like
just
the lightest
nicked that branch.
Yeah. The branch just said, "Here, go this way."
Just whisper.
Good luck. Same one? Come on.
Chris with just a slight bit more whisper.
You know what, Trevor? We were just going to whisper at your disc, but Chris, we'll give yours a nice little push.
Just a little kiss.
A little help.
Yeah.
Hey, man, anytime you get those, you got to take it.
It kind of helped Christopher there. Trevor, you can see, went a good bit long.
Oh, he needed a little kick off.
But Christopher's just about pin high, so maybe he played the kick properly.
You can hear under Trevor's feet the...
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can see there. It is...
Yeah, pretty sloppy.
It's more water than mud, but
Yeah.
it's a very gross combination of the two.
Putting out of that is no fun either because you can't really get the push off that you're used to. Mm-hmm. So you're relying so much on your upper body to follow through.
So Christopher drops in his birdie there, and we're just going to have some cleanups here with Miles, Emerson, and then Trevor off his unfortunate low miss off the cage.
And Miles going to snag that par. Emerson, nice, easy birdie. Is he putting with the Keystone now?
He is.
One of Latitude 64's new releases this year.
Coming out in the Trilogy Challenge.
Yes, sir.
So Coda,
maintaining that two-shot lead over Christopher. He picks one up on Miles, so he's back in solo second. We got Miles and Emerson tied for third behind.
hole 6 is 365-foot par 3. It plays as kind of a hyzer with a fairly overstable distance driver, but that is so underselling the difficulty on this hole. There are a million trees, and you almost want to throw, if you think about the number 7, you want to throw something straight that just immediately hooks 90 degrees to the left, which normally would be like a skip shot, you would think, but with the mud and the rain and everything, it's really difficult to get those skips.
So Emerson's kind of trying to take this inside line.
And there's just no ground action.
Yeah, that had a chance to maybe get up there, but yeah, with all that mud, that's going to be really tough.
Coda going back with that Ballista Pro.
And he kind of takes the wider, safer shot. That's moving left nicely.
And I feel like if it's dry, if it's the summer, that gets there.
Yeah, definitely.
But now he's way short still.
That looked like a defender from Christopher, if I'm not mistaken.
A little bit of an early release. Might have been some water on the disc still.
Right. It's easy to sit here and be like, oh, man, he missed the shot. But, man, when it's so muddy like that, it just feels like any little bit of mud can mess up something that felt really good. Oh, man.
Ghost
just
tree.
Absolutely rejected by Miles there. That was on a very good line. There's that hyzer flip that you were talking about from Trevor, and he's throwing those really well. Nice and smooth.
Super well.
And that looks like the best result of the bunch so far. He may have a little obstruction with that tree, but...
Christopher, this is I believe it's a blend deputy.
Cool.
Just nice and straight, get it up there.
Yeah, easy release on that.
Yeah, really awkward stance. And like you were saying on hole 5's tee pad, just slow, nice and smooth.
I like sometimes when it's a little muddy like this, it doesn't feel bad to run the basket so aggressively. So you see, Miles taking a pretty aggressive run. Same with Emerson. I guess Coda's actually ended up closer than Trevor's. Trevor's been kind of known for that step putt for a little bit now, and he's deadly accurate with it, but you could tell he slipped on that one because it just came out early left. Oh, that's a good look for Coda. But 3 is never going to kill you here, especially when you watch your card mates do this.
When everyone's taking 3s at best.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
And if you have a 2-stroke lead to play with,
that's good too. That's a good comeback.
That's a really solid putt.
Especially after slipping, man. That can just be demoralizing. So good confidence putt for him. Well done.
Emerson dropping in his 3, and Miles keeping his discs dry under the shirt there. Also going to be dropping in for a 3. You can see even there, like picking your discs up, it is slop city.
That's
down
soupy
here
out there. Not great.
So everyone with the pars, star par frame, Coda with the 2-stroke lead, now moving into hole 7. This is a very interesting hole because the basket is straight out there, but the shot is like 45 degrees away from the basket. It's a long par 3 at 470 feet. And then when you factor in you're playing away from the basket, it's going to play even longer. You want to kind of follow that path and then just get into the clearing so you have really any sort of shot to get up here to the basket. And you can see it kind of it's tucked in those trees a little bit there, but really any sort of shot, as long as you're clean, is an open shot for you.
Yep.
Oh,
Emerson, you could tell, got
major
a
slip.
big time slip. He was playing for the left of the two gaps. The one that you can see to the right of the screen, that's there, but you kind of have to take like an off the tee pad approach to get it. And that doesn't really seem like an option today for these guys.
No. And
That's honestly not a bad result. It looks like, oh, no ground action, that's bad, but Coda can approach from there. That's no problem.
you heard Miles say that's not bad. It's in the open.
Right, and same here.
Chris with a slip and perfect shot. He says not bad for slipping.
Yeah, fortuitous slip.
It should be noted as well that the path there is not out of bounds.
Correct.
So Emerson is still safe. You can see Miles is going straight at it. It's definitely in play there.
Yeah. That's a sparkle defender, and if you know Miles, you know he throws really, really hard.
Yes.
If you've ever thrown one of those sparkle defenders, the fact that it held Anheuser out for a little while just kind of gives you some insight into how the type of velocity that Miles is getting on these discs.
And Trevor with a little bit too much turn there. It looks like there might be a little more headwind than these guys can feel. These trees kind of filter it.
Well, and when you're taking such slow steps and trying to throw a power shot, the tendency is to try to overpower it a little to make up for your slow footwork. So Emerson's is going to stay out a little bit to the left. Trevor's is tracking toward the basket.
It's
A little bit
just
short, but
splash.
putting.
Yeah.
Maybe 35 or 40 right there. A little bit of an elevated green. Coda going with a forehand. I'm kind of surprised to see that. He's got such a clean putter backhand game, but
He does, but I feel like with where he landed and the opening to the basket, I think the forehand is the more open shot.
definitely. Yeah, those branches hanging down on the right that Christopher just beat, they can definitely obscure your putt, and that can be really frustrating to throw a clean drive and do that. And that's, a little just
bit
torqued
too
over
much.
from Miles.
Yeah. The rain kind of was picking up here, as you can see on the lens, unfortunately. It was a little windy. Emerson.
That's a good hit. All right.
There's a little bit of the mud
wow,
action.
Look at that, man.
Just gross.
Hopefully Coda wasn't wearing his new shoes out there, you know what I'm saying?
Not anymore.
I would have been upset.
You couldn't tell.
I'm currently upset, and we're just
You're
sitting
mad
here.
for him.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's the first time I've ever seen him walk one down that it
He
didn't go in.
started.
Okay, so. Looks like a little jumper for Trevor here. Oh, never mind. Feet
Without
firmly
the
planted.
jump.
Yeah.
Just suction cup to the ground there.
Yep.
Miles got kind of an awkward putter flick. This isn't super old, super beat up Mercy. I think it's been in his bag forever.
Since the early 1900s. That's what he said. I mean, it's just that's what he said. I'm not going to hate on the guy.
So a bunch of tap-in threes. I think Coda has tapped in.
Bunch of fours.
Excuse me, a bunch of fours. My bad. I think Coda has tapped in. That was hole 7. I think he's tapped in 7 times this round.
Yeah. That is correct.
Everything has just been an absolute drop-in.
All right, now we're on to hole 8, and this is getting into a stretch of holes that you feel like, all right, now I can start making some birdies. You want to come out of that first stretch, a few under par, but with some new pin placements, that's totally different, and with the mud, everything is different. So most of our competitors are going to be looking for just a big hyzer out over those trees. There is also a straight shot through the trees or kind of a lower hyzer, but I think we'll see several of the big hyzers. Christopher kind of opting for that medium height hyzer. Coming up a little bit short, 40 feet or so.
Yeah, I think it started fading a little bit earlier than he wanted, but all things considered, that's totally okay.
Emerson taking the same route. And maybe, I kind of didn't think about this, but since it's so muddy, they may be a little afraid to throw that big hyzer and just go with the footing that you know is going to be consistent.
Yeah, that was an anchor for Emerson, and he absolutely has the power to get a driver there. But I think, like you said, just play it safe, play it smooth. Don't throw it in the water. Just get something across. If you have a putt, take it. If not, take your 3.
Right.
Miles could
Miles
not
is
care
throwing a big
less
hyzer.
about mud.
Dude, if he can throw a big hyzer, he's going to, and he's really good at them. Oh, okay, yeah.
Decent. Oh, by the way, that's an old stiletto, like the super overstable ones.
Yeah, don't know if you heard about him
Game's
before.
easy. Gosh.
So Trevor kind of opts for that wide hyzer as well. Oh. No, all the way out to the water?
The most rejected you could
That is
possibly,
so mean.
possibly be. And it was
That was
a foot in the water.
Well, yeah, and that was 30, 40 feet away from the water's edge.
Yeah.
Moving left.
Yes.
That's super unlucky, man.
Absolutely smacked.
So that jumper for Trevor's not going to go. He's going to be taking a bogey 4 here, unfortunately. Coda's been all over the basket. Mm-hmm. But he'll have another tap in.
Another 8 for 8.
It's a smooth release for Emerson, but just low.
Kind of, yeah. Let's see if Chris can convert here.
Couple of birdie opportunities, but leaving a little to be desired.
That's a good cleanup.
Yep, smooth in for Emerson. This will be a 2-putt for Miles. I'd bet the house on that one.
Yeah.
I've lost many a tournament to Miles because he just does that all the time.
Throw big hyzer to 10 feet.
Yeah, exactly.
Has 10-foot long arms and
Yeah.
just drops it in.
Or, I mean, it could be 40 feet.
Same thing.
The long arms are not affected by the distance of the putt, okay?
Miles is just good.
Yeah, he's a very, very good player.
So a bunch of cleanup there.
Yeah, a bunch of pars. 1 bogey for Trevor with the unfortunate tree kick. And then a birdie for Miles. That's going to move him back within 1 stroke of Christopher and 2 of Coda.
Mm-hmm. Hole 9 is a 315-foot par 3.
Island hole now.
It's
not usually.
Not supposed to be. It kind of plays like a putter turnover or a sidearm if you've got it, if you want it. You're going to see a lot of kind of slow turning shots. You don't want something that's going to quick flip out of your hand. And Miles is throwing...
That's clean.
I believe that's a super beat up verdict. Just get there.
Left is the side to miss here. If you miss right, you are in a world of hurt. On the left side, there's some little holes that you can punch through. Christopher's line looked really good. Just got a little tickle from those branches and fell down. Is that Miles's towel up there that he's allowing everyone to use?
Yes.
What a nice guy.
And still, Emerson
Yeah.
slides with a towel. He still slips on it.
Yeah, that was the most promising line so far.
Mm-hmm.
I think if he has a little bit better footing, that moves right toward the basket.
Coda following Emerson. Just anytime he throws an Opto-X Explorer, I'm
Yeah.
going to throw it too, apparently. And land pretty close to each other.
That's a good little kick out to the right. That's going to give him some sort of putt, if not an easy 3.
Trevor with a slip.
Yeah, a little too much move to the right, but he will likely have a way to punch out from there. If you go in early right and it's not, ooh, that's a good looking
Locked
shot.
it.
If it's not so wet as it is right now, and you go in early right, you can just be in absolute jail over there. So, if you're going to miss right, you want to do it more into the gap.
Miles with a little flick putter out there. Didn't have a whole lot. Coda looks like he's running this.
Hey, look at that putt.
Okay, well, great putt, but what about the tap-in streak, Coda?
Yeah, what? Come on, man.
Like, fine, I guess. Good shot.
There's only 3 constants in life: death, taxes, Coda tapping in.
Coda tapping
on
in
the first
putts.
8 hole. Come on, man.
I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, my world is upside down.
So Trevor, that was actually for his 3. I missed his
Yeah.
out there. He just walked in and
Tossed,
threw it because he had nothing.
This is never a hole that you're like, all right, give me birdie.
Yeah.
Here it is. You definitely have to execute on the tee shot to give yourself a look here. But I don't think this is an uncommon result. You know, one person getting the nice birdie, bunch of people getting 3s on a nice scramble out of the woods.
Especially with a 5-man card. So Coda, that's it for the front 9. Moving into the back 9, he will stay with a 2-stroke lead over Christopher, who has 1 over Miles, who has 1 over Emerson. Trevor kind of falling back a little bit,
Yep.
but he's very much still in it. He's a good player. Hopefully he can keep his head, and we will check that out in the back 9.
Yeah, plenty of soupy golf left.
Oh, plenty.
And if you stuck with us this far, go ahead and subscribe to the Dynamic Disc channel. We're going to be putting out some more tournament content, round footage of players like this, some of our dynamic disc players as well. So yeah, subscribe to the channel and ring that bell so that you don't miss out on any of our new content.
Sweet. See you on hole 10.